Hello there friends, how's it going on? Today we are going to discuss a service from AWS networking and content delivery, that is Amazon Route 53. So here are the topics that we'll be covering in this session. First of all, we'll understand what is DNS, that is domain name system at a glance. Then we will understand what is Amazon Route 53 service and its features, then how it works. Then we'll also discuss about the types of records that are supported by Route 53. And finally, we'll cover about pricing of Route 53 service. Okay, so this is just a theoretical lecture. In the upcoming session, we will go in detail about how to route the different policies using Route 53. Okay, let's get started. So as many of you will be aware about DNS. So DNS is nothing but it is a globally distributed service that is foundational to the way people use the internet. So say in simplest words, say computers do not understand about the readable names like see www.google.com or some others. So that is human readable format. These are because we cannot keep remembering the IP addresses. Hence DNS helps us here in this case. Let us give an example. It's like www.amazon.com or aws.amazon.com. So here these are some of the examples. Okay. Here in this case .com is a top level domain, you can see. Then Amazon, you can see it is a second level domain, and www or AWS, or it could be another like docs.amazon.com, that can be called as a lower level domain. So there could be a lot of different lower level domains, okay, and below the second level domain. So basically in very simplest term, it uses hierarchical name structure and different levels in the hierarchy that are separated from each other with the dots. Okay, so this is basically in very simple nature of Amazon DNS. Now what is Amazon Route 53 service? So Amazon Route 53 is highly available and scalable DNS web service. It is it is used to manage the various DNS, that is domains. So Route 53 will help us here. Route 53 connects user requests to the internet applications using on AWS or on premises. Say for example we have our applications or any web service that is running on EC2 instances. So he using DNS Route 53 service, it will help us to route the traffic of that. Okay, the name of Route 53. So this is very interesting. So now you will say why this is Route 53, like what is 53? Okay, so 53 is nothing but it is the port. So the port that it listens and responds to is the port number 53, and that is the reason it is given the name as Route 53. Okay, so you can just remember and you will see like it's a very interesting one. Okay, now there are various different types that we will see in the upcoming session. So the types of records such as A records, AAAA records, NS records, CA record, SOA records, PTR records, etc. These are the different record types. It supports a lot of various record types that we are going to discuss shortly. Okay. Now coming back to the features, so I have listed some of the features of Route 53. First of all, traffic flow. So the main function of Route 53 is it helps to route the traffic, different traffic based on our requirement. It helps us to route the traffic. Another features is latency based routing. So say in case we need to get the lowest latency, latency, in this case Route 53 will help to route the traffic based on lowest latency. Like it will decide on how it can be achieved using the lowest latency, and based on that it can help us to get this. Another similar feature is IP based routing. We need, if say we need to route our web traffic based on the CIDR IP addresses, in that case that also helps. Similarly geo DNS, like based on geographies. Let me give an example. Say if we have some users from who are based off Africa, some users which are based off America. So obviously if African users are they are expecting the traffic to be routed based on Africa region. Okay, so it will help in that case. Okay, similarly US based customers or US based users will be routed based on their geographical region. Now there are some other features as well, like private DNS for Amazon VPC, DNS failure, health checks and monitoring, domain registration, Amazon ELB integration, etc. So what about private DNS for Amazon VPC? So using Route 53 we can create our private hosted zone. So private hosted zone is an entity that will be discussed in the upcoming sessions. So using that we can help to get the private DNS for our Amazon VPC. Then DNS failure, say our primary region has been failed. Using DNS, that can be the primary region can be failed over to the secondary region if that has been configured. That it helps to fail it over from primary to secondary. Health checks and monitoring. So it's not just it's not just limited to route our traffic. So it's along with that it also helps the check perform the health checks and monitoring of the end resources like EC2 instances, whether the EC2 instances are healthy or those are not working, etc. The most important feature is domain registration. See, using Route 53, this is this can be used to register our domain. So if say we have a domain, let me give you an example, like say it's example.com or any other domain. So using Route 53 we can register our domain, or if we have the domain registered or managed by other there are different domain registration companies like say GoDaddy, etc. Okay, so we can also transfer the existing domain to the Route 53 and that will be managed by Route 53. Amazon ELB integration. So Amazon Route 53 integrates with Amazon Elastic Load Balancer. So I have already covered what is in ELB, how it works and its features. So if you have not covered that, so I would request you to please go through that Amazon ELB, that is Elastic Load Balancer, how it works. Okay. So Route 53 offers a selection of more than 150 top level domains, including the major generic TLDs like .com, .net, .org, .info and country TLDs, like the domain specific to countries like .co, .uk, .de, .tv, .com, .eu, etc. So there are lots of more than 150 TLDs, top level domains are managed by Route 53. Now let's understand how Route 53 works. Here you can see these are the end users, and these end users want to query something. Let's understand they want to query some like www.google.com. Okay, so using DNS resolver it will resolve the domain name queries on behalf of end user. Then this will come to Amazon Route 52 authority DNS service. Here once it comes, then it returns the IP address for DNS record. Like for example, as we could say www.google.com or example.com, then based on that it will to respond to that query it will provide the IP addresses. It returns the IP addresses here. And as you can see here, there is AWS CloudWatch is also, it keeps monitoring the metrics and alarms. So just for example, we can understand, say our google.com or example.com, these applications are hosted on these endpoint instances. Okay, so what AWS CloudWatch will do, it will keep the monitoring and it will keep the metrics of the health of EC2 instances and route 50, everything. And here you can also see the health checks. So the health checks will be performed by Route 53 only. So it will keep checking the health of our EC2 instances here. If say, and as we discussed in the previous slide, that it integrates with ELB. Say for example, we have a fleet of EC2 instances, like more than 3 or 6 EC2 instances. So that can be called as a fleet of, because it's a large number of EC2 instances. In that case, Elastic Load Balancer will balance the traffic to the respective EC2 instances. And what Route 53 will do is, using the health check, it will understand or it will get to know which EC2 instances, like out of 3, if one EC2 instance fails to respond, so it will be marked as unhealthy and it will be it won't send the traffic to that particular EC2 instance, and that will be replaced if we have auto scaling, everything has been configured at the endpoint instances. Now at the top you can see AWS Management Console and AWS Amazon Route 53 SDK or API. So we can configure this route 53 either by using AWS management console, that is using graphical way, or by using API or SDK as well. So there are either way we can configure the Amazon route 53 using the API or the management console. So that is the way it works. Now let's see what are the types of records that are supported by route 53. So first record is A record, that is also called as alias record. So alias record is used to route the traffic to a resource such as web servers using the IPv4 address. So say for example, the example has been given is 192.168.101.10. Okay, so you can see this is the A record. So these kind of A records are supported by route 53. Similar to that, when it comes instead of IPv4, if we have IPv6 addresses which are in hexadecimal format, if you are aware of that, like this is the format of IPv6 address, it also support that. So it's not just limited to IPv4, it will also support the IPv6 addresses. CA record, which indicates which certificate authorities CAs are allowed to issue certificates for a domain or subdomain. So when we talk about a domain or subdomain, there will be an entity called as certificate authorities. Okay, so it will ensure which domain who is managing the record and all those things. The CA certificate authorities is responsible for that. So in case of CA record, the format of CA record is this one. It's flags, tag and value. So just to give an example, the flags will be 0, tag issue and value is ca.exams.com, and count is equal to this value. So it will be in the double quotation. So this complete example is named as CA record. Then we also have CNAME record, canonical name record. Okay, so it maps DNS queries for the name of the current record such as aws.amazon.com to amazon.com or subdomain. Like say there could be say for an for a website like amazon.com, there could be multiple subdomains, like let me give an example, like docs.amazon.com, or say exams.amazon.com, okay, or calculator.amazon.com. There could be lots. So what CNAME record will do is it will just redirect all such traffic. Like say someone is querying what is it's docs.amazon.com, it will map this kind of queries to main TLDs, or it will map to the main website, you can say, like amazon.com or the subdomain. So it will be just mapping the DNS query for the name of the current record. Okay, here the example is hostname.amazon.com, so it will be mapped to corresponding records. We have some other records as well, like NS record, that is name service record. Okay, so NS record identifies the name servers for the hosted zone. When a hosted zone is created, the 4 main servers in the default NS records gets created. So here when as we discussed earlier about the domain registration, so when we register a domain or create a hosted zone, it will create 4 name servers for us. So Amazon will create 4 name servers for us, and those are called as NS1, NS2, NS3, NS4, like just to give an example. So the NS record just identifies the name servers of that hosted zone. So that can be different for different hosted zones. Then let's discuss about SOA, that is start of authority record, that provides information about domain as well as the corresponding Amazon route 53 hosted zone. So what SOA record will comprise it? It will be having the combination of the information about the domain as well as its hosted zone as well. So here you can see this will be similar example of SOA record that contains the information about domain and corresponding hosted zone. Now we also have another record type called as MX record. Okay, so this specifies the names of mail servers. Each value of MX record contains 2 values, priority and domain name. So here using MX record, it signifies which is this what is the mail server that we are going to route the traffic to. So there could be here example is 27 mail.google.com. Okay, so MX record has 2 parameters, one is priority and another is domain name. So priority can be any integer between 0 to 65, 535, and based on priority, so traffic will be routed to that particular mail server. Say in example, if say we have two mail servers, so we can give the priority by, we can specify like 10 and then mail.google.com and 20.mail.google.com. So in this example, the 10, it will route the traffic to the 10 mail.google.com first and then the 20. So it's like you can see here the value you specify for the plugin indicates which email server to be routed to the first, second and so on. And in case say we have multiple servers and the priority is same, like we have two mail server with the same priority like 10 and another also having the 10. So in that case the traffic will be routed to the both mail server at the at the same time, because both are having the same priority. Okay. Along with that, the second part is domain name. The name such as mail.google.com of a record or AAA record. Okay, so this will be comprised of the this will be significance of the MX record. So it will, whenever you see something about MX record, that specifies the mail servers where the traffic needs to be routed. And there are another types of records as well, like PTR record, TXT record, etc. So I have not covered in this one. In this particular session, so you can go and check it out. Okay, now let's talk about what is the pricing of Route 53. So here this is a link here, so this links will provide us the price estimation. Like if we want to use this Route 53, say we need to register a domain or route our or transfer existing domain, or simply use this create hosted zone and the services, then we can get a price estimation using this link. And in terms of pricing, the pricing is as with the other AWS services, it's pay as you go. Okay, so whatever we pay, so we don't need to pay any upfront cost. Okay, we can pay, and whatever we are it's pay as you go model. And the pricing will be there are three factors with respect to Route 53 in terms of pricing. First is managing hosted zone. We need to pay the monthly charges for each hosted zone managed with Route 53. If we have two or multiple hosted zone, so for each one it will be we have to pay on a monthly basis for each hosted zone. Then serving DNS query. So along with the hosted zone prices which are on monthly basis, we also need to pay on with respect to DNS query. So it will be the charges that is incurred for each DNS query answered by Route 53 service. So here it will be based on the DNS query that have answered by Route 53, but here the exception is some of the queries like which are mapped to elastic load balancing instances, CloudFront distribution, AWS Elastic Beanstalk environment, API gateway, VPC endpoint, or Route 53 website buckets. If these it is mapped to these services, then there won't be any additional charges. Okay, so if the services or queries are originating from the services other than this one, then that will be charged. Otherwise there would be no additional charges for these services based queries. Along with these two parameters, we also have managing domain name. Like there will be, say we have registered our domain like examlabs.com with Route 53, then we need to pay annual charges. Okay, on the there will be, you can say, a renewal kind of charges or on the for the every year that we need to pay if we have registered or transfer it into the Route 53. And this we can see the monthly bill from the AWS will list the total users and dollar amount for AWS Route 53 service separately from other. So in our AWS monthly bill, we can see Route 53 as a separate service where we can find what are the charges with respect to Route 53. Now let me go through, I will take you through to the AWS Route 53 calculator. Okay. Before that, I would like to show you, you can go to services. I have logged into my AWS management console. So you can go to services and go to networking and content delivery. Here you can see these are the networking and content delivery services. There are various services, and Route 53 is one of the services from these types of services. So when you will open, you can see this will be your default page, and What it will manage is the DNS management, as we discussed, traffic management, availability monitoring, domain registration. Okay, to register a domain we can simply click, say for example, cloudwithmosing.com, and let me check if this is available. So you can see the domain name cloudwithmosing.com is available. Okay, and I will need to pay the $13 if I use this one. So there will be suggestion as well based on the available domain. Like if I go for cloudwithmosing.org, I'll need to pay 12. So this will be based on the particular domains. Okay, so you can see these are the popular domains: .org, .net, .com, okay, .info. So based on that, we can say, for example, if I select this one, then we need to proceed to check it out. Okay, and I need to pay for that one. And you can see the domain registration fee displayed is for 1 year. You can change the duration on the next page. So if I want, I can also take it for, say, get it reserved for 2 years or 3 years. And this is by default, it will show the $13 USD as for the 1 year. Okay, so I hope you got the point. I'm not going to do this. Let me go back. Yeah, if you come to the hosted zone, here you can see the hosted zone page will be listed, and we can create hosted zone here. So once we create the hosted zone, so it will ask to give the domain name, description, and the type. It will be either public hosted zone or private hosted zone. Okay, and then we can create a hosted zone. So let me type it as let's see, we don't have right now. I would say I need to create a public hosted zone type. We can click on create. So it will create the hosted zone for us. Okay, so now as you can see, it has created the hosted zone for me. And as you can see, so the types of NS, that is name server record, start of authority record, it will be automatically created. And if I click on this one, here you can see these are the default NS records. It has been created. So these are the 4 values. Okay, and these are created. So we can edit this record and delete or replace with, say, other servers if we want to route traffic to the other servers. Okay, for that you can click on edit record and you can do that. So this can be removed, like for example, and I can use some other record, like anything like NS. So we can do any valid name, and based on that we can do. Also we can check the time to use sequence as well here. So these things can be done. So just check it out. Okay. And you can see the traffic policies, policy recovery. So we will be covering this in the upcoming sessions. Also we have the health checks as well here. You can see. So Route 53 health checks monitor the health and performance of your application servers. As we discussed, in the EC2 instances, if those are healthy or those are not healthy, it will be marked or tracked by Route 53 and it will be performed. So that can be done as well. So you can just explore this. We will see in the upcoming session. Okay. Now coming back to the calculator that it was in the PPT. This is the that link will bring to you this page, and here we can select a specific region. Okay, whatever the region you want. Let me select Route 53 here and click on configure. So here you can see it will give us the estimation, like what are the hosted zone and traffic flow, and based on that we can get the estimation of what is exactly the cost that will be incurred for that one. So I hope you will also explore this page and will get to understand it in the details. So friends, that's it for today. Let me quickly summarize whatever we discussed so far. The domain name, we just started with the DNS, that is domain name system. It is nothing but it's globally distributed service. So just it's in simplest term, like computer do not understand the IPs are like in case of human do not understand the IPs or can't remember. Hence, instead of that can be mapped using DNS, that it resolves names to the IPs and vice versa. Then we discuss, and then after that the route 53 is basically a DNS management service, okay, and it can connect a user request to internet applications running on AWS or on premises. So it's not just it will route the traffic which is on the AWS, but if even the servers or traffic is based on premises, that can help us to route the traffic there, okay. The name Route 53 came because it listens to the port 53 and also responds on to the end user. Because of that the name Route 53 has been derived. The different record type that it supports is A records, AAA record, name server record, CA record, SOA record, PTR record, etc. that we have discussed. The features of Route 53 that we covered so far are traffic flow, latency based routing, IP based routing, GeoDNS, DNS registration, domain registration, DNS failure, etc. And we discuss about the pricing calculator, so that can be accessed using this link. So friends, that is for today. I hope you got some idea about how what is DNS and what is Route 53 service, how it works, and the various other things that we covered so far. So if you have any queries, just feel free to write me in the comment section. I'll be very happy to assist you with your queries. And please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It is Cloud with Mohsin. And thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye.